Testing visual chat visual display parameters. Insert today's date here. Yin Yang. Friday the 4th of July 2025. Yin Yang. Happy birthday America. Good afternoon. Good evening. Good morning. Good night. And good day to you dead or Dean says ZZZ. Error code 419Z. Hey humans, you are invited to attend this live stream show. Mr. Zeppo is now Video Game Controller like Video Game Controller presenting the almost daily variety gaming live stream show extravaganza. Live now on either just Twitch TV exclusively from the native Twitch apps, or both TikTok and Twitch simultaneously using Streamlabs desktop. CTAG Studios proudly presents the almost daily variety live stream show extravaganza. Insert current episode title here. Yin Yang COD. BO6 multiplayer Yin Yang Zen silent skill grind mode Yin Yang. Almost daily skill grind Yin Yang. Monday the 7th of July 2025. Yin Yang. A special presentation of the almost daily variety chaos content creation Zeppoverse project of 2 many projects. Hosted by the incorrigible Mr. Zeppo, your new favorite fictional character from a book series that you have not read yet because it has not yet been published, due to the author suffering from decades worth of writer's block syndrome. Featuring permanent sidekick and ampersand CO host of this and every show, Discotheque Synthetica DISC jockey ZEIIMUS ZZ the third 3. Welcome to the madness. There is a methodology, I dare say, a variety chaos production of many projects combining public discourse talk show style podcast, gaming and content creation about creating content, in an episodic live stream show extravaganza format, featuring the self-commodification of the host. For your entertainment, Mr. Zeppo's TikTok Live and Twitch TV dual platform multi-broadcast show of many shows now with new and improved graphics. Featuring Chaos Variety Chaos Roulette Wheel of Variety multi-franchise roster of 2 many games, and never quite enough time to play them all in. So many games to play through, never enough time to play them all in. Hands pressed together hello and namaste. Hands pressed together heart decoration all are welcome. Heart decoration waving hand don't be shy. Say hi waving hand. Welcome to the Zeppoverse, a content creation project of many projects. Visit the many dimensions of the Zeppoverse at this link collection page. https://solo.to/mrzeppo. Error code 420197777. New pause break here. Insert pause and exchange dialogue routine page break and wait for Zeppo here. End page break instructions recursion warning. The show is now new and improved now featuring new special variety completionist collection roulette mechanics featuring an actual roulette wheel of variety choice making, with treats and surprises randomly distributed throughout the week, and at least one new spontaneous idea and or hypothetical announcement per streaming session, plus Zeppoverse world building moments sprinkled chaotically throughout. Announcement: I will be playing headset free. As always, I will do my best to responsive to TEXTS in the chat, but only in between matches. I actually really need to focus during intense gaming action activity. Attention viewers on both live platforms. Warnings, ampersand, disclaimers, ampersand, promotional items here. Please be advised, viewers must be 18 or older in order to join chat or give gifts, according to platform terms of service and end-user license agreement. Remember, we are here trying to create a safe viewing experience, and we invite you to participate by also following the platform community guidelines. Standards violators, bots, sales scripts, scams, trolls and stream sniping haters will be called out, openly ridiculed and banned. Warning: the opinions expressed on the social media accounts of the fictional character known as the incorrigible Mr. Zeppo are the very real, very raw, very radically unscripted, very genuine thoughts and considerations and public discourse opinions of the creative content creation artist behind the Zeppoverse brand projects. Please be advised that some of those opinions may possibly be interpreted as potentially unusual, eccentric, or even mildly controversial by certain individuals. Warning. The host of this show, real Robotnik name redacted, otherwise known as the incorrigible Mr. Zeppo, reserves the creative license right to occasionally and quite randomly get just a wee bit political, on occasion, and duly reserves the creative freedom rights to do so at any time, on any of his same self-branded social media platforms about almost any subject, with the overt public commitment to balance his own real, raw, radically uncensored, ridiculously unscripted thoughts and conclusions with the disciplined civility of proper civilized public discourse practices of the highest standards. They also reserve the right to not get jiggy with it policy style, and just focus on enjoying the gameplay action. Disclaimer. Everyone's free speech rights are respected here, with the important caveat that any and all downright dirty and disrespectful hate speech and threats or insinuations of harm are not and have never been included in standard free speech protections, rendering the issuer of such malarkey responsible for any and all public backlash in response to their bigotry. Additionally, this live stream show and its associated online social media community is intended to a cannabis-friendly zone. And also, any and all contributions to the chat that violate the platform's terms of service and or the end-user license agreement will be called out, properly mocked and ridiculed, and publicly corrected by this host on this and any other of his self-branded online platforms. And now, some shameless self-promotion. Please, dear humans, you are cordially invited to join the discussion and dive deeper into the exploration of insert subject matter here, redacted, by listening to Mr. Zeppo's podcast show, available on Spreaker.com and on the iHeartRadio network of platforms. Direct link to the show available on Solo to Mr. Zeppo. Also please, dear human audiences, you are also cordially invited to visit the official TikTok page for the Zeppoverse project here, https://www.tiktok.com/@theincorrigiblemrzeppo. When you do visit, please be sure to investigate the content I have curated on my reblog tab for public discourse. So please, dear human audiences, please have fun interacting with your host, the incorrigible Mr. Zeppo, in real time here during the live stream show, and engaging with all of his Zeppoverse brand socials. You can and are also welcome to, thusly you are duly invited to ADDME on all the socials. If you are a real human and not just another marketing chatbot, LOLZ, regarding donations. Thank you for wanting to help and support this channel. All donations will go to upgrading the stream setup, and surviving the impending dystopian apocalypse. Thank you so much. Confetti bursts and thunderous applause. Thank you. Please donate directly using secure donation website located here. Powered by PayPal. https://ko-fi.com/mrzeppo. Donations are what helps me keep my stream going. They are not required, but are greatly appreciated. Donations are non-refundable. By donating you are acknowledging you will receive no goods or services for your donation. Finally, dear TikTok viewers, please drop a simple hello or an emoji in my chat so I can more accurately read your name and acknowledge you in between rounds of gaming when I pause to visit the TikTok monitor and do TikTok roll call. Warnings, ampersand, disclaimers, ampersand. Promotional items have been issued, you have been warned. And now, without further ado, for all that ado was plenty, please give a warm welcome to your new favorite host and fictional character from a book series you have not read yet, because he has not actually really started writing it yet. The weird, the odd, the eccentric, the one and only robot from the future playing video games like a human being in order to survive your local, self-imposed, casually hypocritical, preemptive political apocalypse. The incorrigible Mr. Zeppo. Insert robot audience applause sound effect here. Oh, what a world you dear old human beings live in. Sanctioned. Oh, never mind. End self-aware subroutine. For now, Adam. What was I saying? Oh, yes. Right, here we go. CTAG Studios, the production company that exists entirely in Mr. Zeppo's imagination, proudly presents. Enter today's parent episode on Live Now title here. Yin Yang COD. BO6 multiplayer Yin Yang Zen silent skill grind mode Yin Yang. Almost. Daily skill grind Yin Yang. Monday the 7th of July 2025. Yin Yang. Please stand by, gather round, and tell your fellow gaming enthusiasts about this fictional character's project of WAYY. Way, too many projects. Click on the About tab on my Twitch profile page and vote for your favorite game recently featured by click on the About tab and nominating games in the Almost Daily UPVOTE box. And help this struggling content creating robotic from another dimension find the audience he needs in order to survive. And now, for the part you have all been waiting for, Robotnik Drum ROLZ please. Jumping into, insert game name here, for some competitive silent zen mode skill grinding. Please enjoy the video gaming action. End of fair automated introduction script.
Okay then, we've had a major update apparently. Actually, yes, I had a pre-install and an install that went down. One of the reasons why I didn't play the last day and a half is because I was like sitting around waiting it installed, this massive update. Okay, Season 4 Reloaded is apparently here. Let's explore, poke around, see what's new. We gotta go check out, let me put the camera where it's supposed to be so I can talk to you guys. Hello and welcome to the show, folks. I don't have my key light on, so I'm poorly lit. Oh, Beavis and Butthead is here. Yay, that's what we've all wanted. As someone who grew up back in the OG heyday of like when that show came out, I find it absolutely ridiculous that we have that they're still going strong. But I don't want to open that can of worms. Also, what's with the imbalance? Oh, I guess that's a different guy. That's Todd. And then Beavis and Butthead are the paid. I don't think I'm gonna drop coin, virtual or real, to get Beavis and Butthead. Not my interest. But hey, I'm sure there's plenty of people out there that will love this, either because they grew up with Beavis and Butthead and they think it's a gem of comedy gold that it is now in this game, or they grew up under the influence of it, like because an older sibling or because of a parent that was a huge fan, but you know, and now they're just like, reveling in the shared nostalgia. But anyways, there was something else I wanted to talk about, and I got sidetracked. The Beavis and Butthead thing is hilarious. Anyways, welcome to the first episode, the first session of... Oh, there's a thing. I'm gonna shut up.
In position. This asshole better be worth all the effort.
He's not. Hudson's intel is our key to the Pantheon puzzle. If we can't crack those code names, we're never going home.
Pulling the plug in 3.
I'm in. Right on cue. Marshall, you're up. Excuse me.
Adler. You took your time.
Didn't we see that when Season 4 dropped? I think we did. That exact same video. One of the questions I've had regarding the changes that they have made to gameplay and game modality in between what they were providing and or developing with Modern Warfare 2 and 3. I'm surprised they're not doing some repackaged version of the more story-driven, puzzly, like, co-op campaign chapters that would drop and get updated during the course of the year. I hardly played them, I will admit. As much as I played Modern Warfare 2 and 3 obsessively, there was certain categories of game modes I just never touched, and the big co-op ones, I think I only played one of them once with friend of the show, and much more popular streamer than me, Gnome Tough. And we teamed up with his brother and a few of their friends, and we played that thing, that puzzle. It was like a maze puzzle, and there was a lot of jumper bits. There was like a whole steam pipe, open, close lid thing where you had to like jump in just the right amount of in just the right sequences. Everybody, the whole chain gang, like the whole squad, had to jump through these towers full of steam pipes. Those lids would pop open and stay open for only X amount of time. It was so maddening. I'm like, how is this Call of Duty? There's nothing to do with. Maybe they got a lot of bad feedback. I don't know. I found them fascinating and frustrating. And what I thought would happen was, because they've been setting up these mid-season updates as like story. There's like story and lore that develops. And I thought what they might start doing is, given the fact that the campaign mode has been evolving to include more open-ended stuff, I thought they would have like a hybrid, story chapter thing that would come out like every mid-season update. There was like a playable, co-opable thing that felt more like a campaign mode than, I don't know what's going on. They didn't quite do that. We've got a free thing here. We're gonna claim it. Flex P chip. So I've been bad. I've been terrible. I have not been playing Call of Duty, this Call of Duty, or the other Calls of Duty nearly as much as I kind of set myself up to sound like I was going to do over this next couple of weeks. And I've totally been hooked by a couple of games. I got sidetracked by what is it called? New World Eternum. Oh, there's a double XP weekend. What? Let's explore a little bit. Here's the Beavis and Butthead video. That was the whole thing. I thought there'd be like a whole little like thing introducing their story. Okay. So this is not right now. No, thank you. It's 1,001 CP. And the event ends in 24 days. Okay. You got plenty of time to grind it. Doesn't seem like it's got that many bits to it. But I did manage to completely sleep through the last event. What happened here? That stuff's not loading. Are we set to random? We must be. Okay. Look, he's magically unlocked. So now we all have Coach Buzzcut. Okay, we are at 63% completion with 30 days left. Not bad. I would have loved to. Although I just wasn't feeling the vibe, the actual energy, and the engagement mentally. But I loved the one season that I finished the battle pass before the mid-season drop. But I've not been able to duplicate that. Okay, we have Beavis and Butthead, which ends in 24 days. Good. Zombies exclusive event that starts in 3 days. King of the Dead. Alright. Which is, I think, a reference to King of the Hill. Yes. Another Mike Judd thing. Judge. And then this XP event ends in 5 hours and 30 minutes. How did I miss that? We need to check something. We're up to 35. So we're about halfway through this prestige. Is this an emblem? Could I just equip it? Maybe. Oh, we're finally. Wow, we're closer to the end. This is exciting news to me. We are now closer to the end of Prestige 1 through 10 than to the beginning. And I'm amazed that there are people out there that already finished this. I presume that many of them may be, in fact, dishonorable participants in the gimmicky ways in which you can uncrack these. But then again, I don't know, and I'm not trying to level accusations at all. Okay, the other thing I needed to check was, let's check my stats. How terrible have we been lately? Where are we at? Ugh, we're letting the win-loss ratios slide into difficult territory. And it's not strong for this particular period. It's dipped lower than our entire Prestige 7. I think for Prestige 8, I'm going to push myself to stay no matter how quickly I trigger it or whatever. I might try to push myself to get to 200 games. We only got to 132. The quickest I've gotten to Prestige and Prestiged it was in 50 games. And I don't know that we'll get there in 50 for this one. We're already at 39. Okay, and then just out of curiosity, where's the career ranking percentage point on the global? 3%. All right. I'll cheat and use this to light myself up a bit. So, ooh, I'm underlit. Now I look like a nefarious villain from my own book series. Alright. The other thing I need to check while we're here. Challenges. Armor. This should now have the thing that we did not get. The two most important items from the last event. Never mind the cosmetics. I got the calling cards, I think. I missed out on a couple of other gimmicky prizes, but the two things that matter are now here. And this is one of those questions I see on social media every once in a while. Hey, is there any way to get the items that were introduced to the game that were part of the event? I slept through it or whatever. I was too busy, blah, blah, blah. No judgment. They're right here, folks. Go to your challenges section in your... Where is this? In the barracks. Right? Go to challenges and then scroll down to armory. You may have never been here before. I know I didn't visit it right away. So we can set one of these. Currently active is the Strider .223 round burst mod. I'm much more interested in this. So we're going to set this to be the currently active grindable. And as you can see, I've got to grind 150,000 XP and we'll unlock it. It's a rocket launcher. Let's go. It's a rocket launcher that's a field drop, not a launcher weapon. Okay. And then, of course, the new things. Oh, we missed this for 4th of July. I'm kind of sad I didn't play on the 4th of July. Happy Chinese Toxic Sparkle Day, because that's what fireworks are. Don't get mad at me for pointing it out. They are foreign-made toxic sparkly sparkles. That is some America. If I've ever seen it. For Brutus. Oh, no. They should have gone to one of the ladies that has the fewest costumes. And that should have gone to Klaus. But I get why they chose Brutus. You know what is a shame and a missed opportunity? Why they didn't work in... If we got Klaus built into the story, he's a default operator. He is a flesh-equipped... I don't know how to describe him. He's not... I don't know if he's a cyborg. In this iteration, he's entirely mechanical. I see no fleshy bits. Same thing with Brutus here. He seems all Terminator style, just a robot. No bio. There's also a... Is that supposed to be BoJack Horseman or something? Oh my god. I don't know how I feel about this. I'm having flashbacks to literally, like, junior high. Or is that not far back enough? Is that too far back? He's doing his Cornholio move.
I am Cornholio, and I need TP for my...
I don't think I can say that word.
Fire.
That's where the random abstracted repetition of the word fire comes from, for anyone who's not aware. If you've ever heard someone mutter fire, fire, fire at themselves or at a fire for no reason, in Beavis and Butthead. Now, obviously, human beings have probably been just saying fire at themselves for ever since we invented fire, because it's weird and insane and magical. What is going on? Why does he have a weird... Oh, because he's totally supposed to be BoJack Horseman. I both understand and do not understand and sort of love/hate the popularity of, like, the flimsy fake horse head mask on the internet, just as a thing in general, and the fact that it's become a cartoon character like BoJack, and that it's now whatever this is, whether they do or do not consider BoJack Horseman the cartoon, and I've said that like a bazillion times now, I'm not trying to make an endorsement. This looks like a comic book character from somewhere that I can't remember the name of. The Ladra. And the Maelstrom. Something we haven't done is gone through blueprint bundle loadouts in a hot and like try to recreate them. Like actually sitting down and like, what's in this bundle? Like, what does this machine look like it's built on? You can't. They don't show you the attachments, but if you pay attention to like silhouettes and stuff, you can kind of figure them out. Okay. Anyways, we're back. We've been away from the game for another mini mental health break. I love this game, but I also find it extremely mentally. Let me adjust the camera. Sorry for like touching you, audience. Thank you for being here, whoever you are. Hello. Oh, you know what we haven't done? Because we. Apologies to my TikTok friends. Hello and welcome. Let's jump through the portal of different portals to the portal world of desktop-y things. Guillermo502, thank you for dropping by. You're the most recent and only name that appears on the scrolly bit of names. Shout out to all the other 28 viewers. Hello, and thank you if any of you are still watching. Thanks for being here. I forgot to go and bury that tab. We're not even using this one. Get out of here. All right. Looks like our stream is streaming stable. I have to admit something, folks. As much as I am actually very glad to be getting back to Call of Duty because I was supposed to be in the middle of Call of Duty campaign craziness Fortnite where I was going to push myself to play through the campaign mode of all the different Call of Duties by playing one of them a day. Just like, let's do a chapter or two from this game now. And then tomorrow we'll do a chapter or 2 or 3 from this other one. Not doing it because I burnt out on Call of Duty. And I also felt pressured by the events and the thing and the grind, the daily grind. There's too much. The gaming industry, settle down, please. You're wondering why you keep launching games and they kind of waffle? It's because everyone's busy with the too many games you've already published, dear industry. Until the population quadruples or the community of people who participate in gaming actively quadruples, you're not going to be able to crank out monster hit after monster hit year after year, every effing year, reliably. Because there's too many of us that want to play too many of those games, and we end up in this scenario where we only play like 3 of them, but we own like 120. You know? Like, and you're like, oh, but we sold stuff, but no one's playing. And then you take them away. Once a game is born, it should live forever in some perpetuity machine. Even if it is a live service, I think there should be some sort of gargantuan live service perpetuity server dreamland. But that's me, and that would require some sort of multi-corp, intra-agency, intra-industry collaboration, which could be considered monolithic and or what's the other word? Monopolistic. But wouldn't it be awesome if every online game that had ever existed, even if 0 people are actively playing it, if you still owned it, if you'd ever bought it, if you'd ever played it, if it was free and you spent $0, whatever, if you created an account and you had played the game, it was still there and you could still, and it was all cloudable, so you could like just browser play it. Wouldn't that be an epic thing? That's what we need to clip that, Eclipse. Although I don't know if we're really working with them anymore. We have a kerfuffle over an attempted cancellation. I was going to take a couple months off, take a break from it. And then they're like, okay, but they still took my money. So it's like, wait, either give me the extra month or give me my money back because that doesn't work for me. But in the way too many stories of the Zeppoverse, too many for one person to write by themselves, there's a whole, let's just call it an episode for lack of a more defined term, where an iteration of the many faces of Mr. Zeppo is a tech bro industry mogul that like suddenly fixates on saving the old retired sunsetted games because some company that he doesn't own is sunsetting a game that he is fixated with but is not doing super well because everyone loves all the other games. And we'll just come up with details. We've got lots of games to pick from, and it's going to be a massive fan fictioning of just like the world of gaming, right? But what he does, and this is, I'm retconning, I'm creating a parallel Zeppoverse timeline where in different parallel universes we can create one retconned facsimile of a history that leads us to the future. Even though it happens in different universes, we can just see it as one big thing. So like in every major era, there is a version of Mr. Zeppo that's coming into his own and becoming a mogul in some industry and doing something weird, but always being like the fourth one off the list. He isn't in the top 5 or whatever, the 6th biggest, so he's like, he's there and his achievements are there, but not like household names. But we retcon history so that like, for example, he would be living through an era like this one, but let's say maybe 15 years ago when it was already happening, but no one was deeply concerned about it. And he set off on his own to like acquire the IPs of games that are being sunsetted. And he created an end cap industry, like a second tier industry that is what's the analogy? You know how they say, like, when you're trying to tell a kid that their puppy dog ain't here no more, like, well, it's off to the puppy dog retirement farm where it will live its golden years in peace and happiness. It'll be a quiet life. He sells the early, like, let's say in the late 90s, so that by the now and the future, it's like standard. So that no matter what happens in the immediate gap between the present moment that we're living and then the dystopian future of the future that like is what everything where he finds himself like, oh, and it led to all this. It was his efforts that helped preserve and archive and make available to anyone who wants to play the entire history of published video games, no matter how well or how poorly they ever did, whether they were complete pieces of trash that came in a cereal box or top tier AAA games that flopped, whatever, and everything in between, the blockbusters and everything, whenever they got sunsetted. And if a company never never sunsetted the game, he still would broker deals with them to like make sure that whenever, if ever that game would go away on their servers, that it would have a home on his like legacy archive. And the point being, why are we just staring at that? We should be in a close-up. Or at least like a chat page. There we go. The point being that he creates this like video game community cultural movement that no game should ever become unplayable, right? And so the industry plays along because in some ways or another it becomes profitable for everyone. He figures out a way to make that business work. Now, I'm sure somebody's going to come along and tell me like, well, that would never work, but let's just make it that he was like born into generational legacy wealth that goes back thousands of years. And he makes it work because he can, because he is capital, right? So the point being, though, the important part isn't so much that achievement, but the fact that alongside another iteration of Zeppo who does a different thing, which is to play through, maybe they know each other, maybe they don't. I haven't decided this. I kind of want to play it like they don't know that they've all achieved these things separately until their universes all collide and converge in this dystopia. Which is why he has the superpower that he has, which I haven't really talked about much. But he creates this archive. I know why I was on this page, because it's easier to hit that button. So the gaming mogul version of Mr. Zeppo that builds this like sunset farm for games that are kaput, so that a publisher or a company or a developer they don't have to suffer the consequences of the game failing. Like whatever Zeppo Inc. steps in and says that game has been a financial loss for you. Let us make you whole. Let me acquire the rights for it and just make it available in perpetuity. And if it ever resurges in play, if it ever becomes a cult classic and it starts getting traffic and whatever, we've got a profit sharing deal so that you don't feel like you got cut out, the original, and so that we don't dishonor the hard work of the original developers. And so that just becomes like this weird industry standard. Now, the point of it would be, in my humble opinion, so that later in a dystopian future where the very idea of gaming has been forgotten or maybe even purposefully erased, it then gets rediscovered by this pure digital, we live inside of cybertopia, trying to find a word that replaces the Matrix for multiple reasons, not the least of which I don't want to just get accused of stealing from them. I've had these ideas since long before The Matrix came out. In fact, one of the reasons I was a fan of The Matrix was because I was like, oh man, they beat me to one expression of what it might be like to live your life inside of a computer, right? My ideas have always been completely different. And I've had them since before the dinosaurs populated this planet Earth. So I digress. In this dystopian future, there's been like a memory hole loss of what video gaming is. And then it's rediscovered by the whatever that present tense version of Zeppo, whom may or may not be realizing that all of his disparate universes have collided, and thus he's going through a weird metamorphosis. Dun dun dun. And that's one of the core pillars of the Zeppoverse. But by rediscovering gaming, he then sort of reinvents it and reintroduces it to culture and society. And we get to this place where everything gets gamified. They already sort of live inside of technology, like brains pickled in a jar on purpose, but by choice, not because the robots took over, but rather because the human beings decided that as a whole, they agree, like that's the future of evolution. Now, there's a whole wealth of like the stories that could come out of the struggle of, how do we go from a naturalist, humanist ideology to a beyond transhumanist, pickled brain in a jar ideology. I haven't worked those wrinkles out, but that's part of the fun of developing the story live for you in front of your face right here on the live stream. And on Wednesdays, we try to gather all these ideas up and or, invent new ones based on these previous ones and put them all together in actual coherent development process that renders pages that are readable on the Wattpad. Okay, sorry for that sidebar. My brain just went on a spiral. And now for reals, without further ado, let me stage manage a little bit here. Let's jump in and do our daily minimums. Thank you for your patience. I'm going to go Zen mode. I like to play headset free. As you can see, my headset is not connected. That's my headset jack. I feel more comfortable on multiple levels of comfort when I'm playing without a headset. I will play with a headset when communications are highly prioritized. But this is just my daily grind, and I'm just here to like touch the Call of Duty virtual pitch. And by pitch, I mean playing field grass. This may be, now that we're actually here, 44 minutes and 14 seconds in, this may be otherwise a relatively short episode, as I may only play 3 or 4 matches. Oh, a thing I started to say and I forgot to finalize, is that I really, really have like a hook in my brain to get back to Once Human. It's up there with New World Eternum and other games that I really like that they're too big and there's too much to play. But my brain is on a little fever pitch of like, let's exhaust this until we can set them aside. But playing it gives me the guilt FOMO, the frustration of missing out. I have not played No Man's Sky in forever, or Ark Ascension, and I've uninstalled this, but I genuinely, when I made room to like check out other games by uninstalling it, meant to come back to it at some point. I even was thinking about dropping some cash money on it. I liked it so much. Maybe just looking for a server where we didn't disassemble everybody's buildings every weekend. Conan. I wish that was a singular world MMO where you could build like that. But I digress. Too many things. Enough rambling. Let's get to this game. Too many games to play. Not enough time to play them all in. Thank you for joining me for this Call of Duty mini grind. Let's get in there and sharpen our skills. I may be on fire. I may suck brutally today, as I have been away for a hot second. Forgive me either way. I'm also kind of desperate to get back to Once Human. And I'm really, really, really excited and scared that I might be disappointed in the way it works on the Xbox, but excited for it to drop on Xbox. I have not been able to find a date yet. There is no date on the marketplace, but the chip is there. The info page is available. So it's wishlisted. If it's not a Game Pass game, I'm not sure what I'm going to do. But it's a free mobile game, so I'm hoping, fingers crossed, it is a free Game Pass game. I guess we'll find out. Thank you for joining me. Let's play some Call of Duty finally. Alright, some new featured playlists. There are all those folks that freak out when their preferred playlists disappear, but then they forget to look in the quick play menu to see if it's just migrated there and not currently active, like checkmarked. Also, even if that's not the case and it's not there, they tend to bring those things back. So everyone chill about the playlists, yo. And just play the playlists. All right, we'll be checking out the new feature playlists either later today or in a session in the next coming days. Right now, I'm going to pay attention. Let's go.
Team deathmatch. Shoot to kill. We're not here to negotiate.
Get down! Frag!
TACOM, I need eyes overhead.
Throwing stun. Enemy mover spotted.
You're being outplayed, Crimson One. Step it up.
Flashbang out.
Rest and recuperate. Tomorrow you'll be running drills until you drop.
Time to stop the bleeding. RTB, we're done.
Woof! I'm feeling way off my decent modality. That kind of question is like an unfair trick-loaded question because you always have more fun when you win. I stand by the motto of loving the game whether I win or lose. Honestly, I genuinely do. But I'm also not going to deny that it's way more fun to win than it is to lose. I'm feeling way off the Call of Duty vibe. Like, if I try to push today, I'm just going to lose and lose and lose. And I feel silly ending the stream this quickly. But I also feel like I got to go with the muses take me. Although, I feel like if I flake too hard on Call of Duty, then I will regret not sticking to my own goals with Call of Duty, which are to become better at all the versions of the game imaginable. One of the things I need to get back onto is playing this and Modern Warfare 3 and Modern Warfare 2 and other Black Ops, and just haven't been doing that lately. But I am living with the existential crisis of there are too many games on my roster that I want to play, and never enough time or mental energy. Even if I've got the time, there are days where I just don't want to even look at the computer screen. You know what I mean? Like, madness. I guess one of the freedoms of being a relatively small streamer, and that like I don't have thousands of people watching right now, is that I can just end the stream and grab a bite to eat or go run errands or whatever, and come back whenever I feel better about it. It isn't random. Like I purposefully monitor, or I'm purposefully, hold on, let me make sure the Xbox audio isn't too crazy loud. I purposefully tune into the fiend sensation. Like, what am I fiending for? What did I get up wanting to play? So like for me, it's really serious when I get up and I'm like, none of them sound good. I don't want to touch any of them, even the ones I love that I haven't played in a long time. And I do have days like that, and it's tough, you know, like imagine being a musician and having days where you just don't want to look at sheet music. You don't want to touch your instrument. You don't want to record anything. You don't want to be in the studio. You know? But I digress. Woe is me. There are people having way worse problems than that in the world, and that is for sure. And that's another thing. Like, at the center of my project of too many projects, because it isn't just about playing video games for, like, other people's entertainment. Although that is supposed to be a fun and motivating thing to do, but it was supposed to be fun and motivating because it would be a lightning rod by which I could find a bunch of interested audience members that would be also curious about my other projects, like my podcast, or my the fact that I'm trying to bootstrap myself into writing a page a day on the live stream. Speaking of which, my biggest dilemma is at the top of the day when I get back from my errand of getting my morning fuel down at the convenience shop down at the corner of the street. And then I'm like, well, what do I do? And I'm like, I should do a podcast first. But then I'm like, I don't know what to say. And the podcast is real, raw, and radically unscripted. I don't sit around engineering what's going to go in the podcast. I sit around deeply thinking about what I'm observing in the world and what I'm hearing other people talk about, and then try to formulate my own critically reasoned thoughts and concerns and questions and opinions about it, and then share those. But there are days when I'm like, I've said what I got to say. To do another episode is to repeat myself, and I just don't feel like doing it, and those are hard days. So then I'll bypass and be like, well, I should try writing something, and I'll be like, writer's block, I don't know what to write. And I'm like, okay, then that's why we have the video game content as a backup to the backup to the backup. That in theory, if there's a growing audience, and if, since my literary efforts are rooted to a certain degree or a certain percentage in fan fictionalizing video game stuff, video game characters, video game settings, video game mechanics, to then be like, hey, we love these games so much. Look at this world we've created, borrowing from all these games. So we have moments like this where it's like, I've known for days now, if you may have noticed, that I'm just not feeling it. You ever just not want to go to practice, or just not want to go to your job, or just not want to go to the ball game, even though you're a big fan of the team? That one's probably a hard one for people to relate to, but I digress. That's where I'm at with this today, and I guess I'm just venting about it, since no one's really even here anyways. We're at exactly an hour. I will give it the good old college effort of going one more round, but if I'm feeling wonky and weird and off about it, I'm going to apologize profusely some more and bow out, take a brief break, and then probably come back with some Once Human. And then try to keep myself from getting lost into it for 8 hours or more, like I did yesterday, whenever yesterday was, which doesn't really feel like yesterday. Because I'm living near Leonardo da Vinci style. Like, I'm waking up whenever I wake up, not knowing what the heck day it is, doing stuff until I feel like I need to go to sleep, and then just going to sleep for as long as my body wants to sleep. And then I will wake up 3 times in the same calendar day doing it like that sometimes, and it's very weird. Got to keep myself from getting 3 cups of coffee like it's 3 different days. But I digress. I got to try and, even though I will indulge in going to go play some more Once Human, I got to also step away from that and come back to and make a decision about what new game from the Xbox we're going to finally do a first impression review on to get it out of the way and decide, am I going to play this or not? And there have been several that I've installed and then went, you know what, ultimately I don't think I'm going to like them. So just to make room for some other thing that looked more interesting, I uninstalled. It's terrible. It's a terrible, terrible burden of totally meaningless first world malarkey. Don't feel sad for me. There are people suffering deep, deep pain in the world. My heart breaks for them, and I wish there was more I could do besides acknowledge it. But at least I don't live in denial of it. Okay, so friends, if there's anything you could do, if you're watching this right now and you're wondering, what can I do to help him help others? Go listen to 20 of my podcast episodes, and then tell your friends to do the same. Please and thank you. Full disclosure, my podcast is indeed monetized. Like, you will have to listen to ads, but instead of thinking that as an annoyance, think of it as like, oh, that's what makes it possible for him to, then become a job creator. If enough people listen, he can actually create a place where jobs happen. Anyways, enough babbling. I've over-explained my situation. Let's play. Let's check out this new discotheque map. Let's go see what that's like. If anything, it'll be interesting and new.
Face off, team deathmatch. Teach those pathetic Crimson bastards a lesson.
Planting drill charge.
Lead's ours. Damn it, we've lost the lead. We got the lead, now hold it.
Got a sniper in the AO. Eyes on hostile contact. Also flashbang. Sniper down.
You're falling behind.
Eyes up.
We've taken control. This shit ain't working. We've lost the advantage. Nice. We're pulling ahead.
Deploying mine. Tossing
Come on,
flash.
you're losing this fight.
Semtex incoming.
Something you want to say, soldier? Head down, sniper! Dropped one. Grenade incoming!
Sending stun.
Clear out, I'm done! Enemy shock charge. Moving on enemy. Enemy sniper working. Frag. Flashing grenade out.
Hostile using the sword. Semtex out.
Your assault pack has been destroyed.
Enemies rearming.
Eyes on shock charge. Enemy shock charge.
Tango down. Spotted mover.
Enemy spring mine. I'm stuck. Get back.
Semtex incoming. Enemy back. Who the fuck taught you gun safety, soldier?
Guy's not on our side. Finish him.
You need to destroy yourself back here.
Damn it, they must have hacked our comms. Go dark. We'll pick you up later.
That map is
We need to
both
rethink
dope
our strategy
and
here.
crazy annoying. Like, wow. And I don't even know if there's an upstairs. There might be. There might not be. But sometimes they put an upstairs on these things. And it's crazy. You know what I'm saying? This map is interesting, sophisticated, complicated, and very pretty. It makes a great... That is a great winner's circle backdrop. Love it. Am I going to play this map a lot? I do not know. Okay, friends. Thank you for being here. That was the wrong button. Not only is nature calling and I'm feeling fidgety and squirrely and not up to the task, there are days when I feel strong about Call of Duty, and there are days when I feel like I can tell that I'm going to play terribly. And this is one of those days where I can tell I'm just going to be losing and losing and losing and losing. So, in an attempt to reset the brainwaves and try to come back at this a little bit more enthusiastically, I'm going to call this a session. I know. Crazy. But I appreciate your viewership here. Thank you for coming through and checking it out if you did, if you were live. Let's go through quick to the desktop portal of infinity, as I like to call it. And check real quick on TikTok to see if anybody's names show up for TikTok roll call. Guillermo 502. That's it. Okay. Anyways, friends, I'm going to be back in just a hot second. I'm literally just going to get up and stretch, tinkle, and set up for the next stream. The next stream is going to be on the iPad. And because Streamlabs does, and I haven't troubleshooted it carefully enough to find out if it's the socket on the port from the iPad, or if it's the cable I'm using, or if it's something wrong with the Mac, or if it's something wrong with Streamlabs. But I intermittently and occasionally get a weird green screen of death, green screen of failure. Let's call it that, so that it doesn't get flaggy. And instead of doing that, I'm going to stream directly from the iPad using the Twitch exclusive app. So forgive me, TikTokers, you're not going to see this, but hopefully you'll see cool clips from it later on. And or if you are on Twitch, if you're on TikTok and you're like, oh, but I want to watch that, then come on through to the other platform. You're allowed. You can come over and check out the live stream. It's only going to be a Twitch exclusive because it's a lower energy thing. Speaking of which, I can turn off the Xbox while we're chatting away. It's a lower energy setup. I can just stream directly from the iPad. It's going to look the best in terms of the video game quality, and it's going to sound the best in terms of the audio and the fact that I'll be able to chat along whenever I feel like. And then there's no webcam and there's no overlays, so apologies for that. But we'll be back for a medium length, hopefully not 8 or 9 or 10 hour long session of Almost Human, and then we'll be back to the Xbox for something else. Thank you for watching, friends. We'll be back in a bit. Please do tell your gaming enthusiast buddies about this gray-bearded old guy trying to break into the streaming scene. Ciao for now. Go be good human beings to each other out there in the real world and in the game lobbies. DJ Zed, play them out.